And the mentorship program launched last season for the first time. And our long-term goal is to make Mentorship Weekend basically an annual event, just like a clinic is an annual event. And it's an opportunity to follow up in the clinic setting. And we can go from that concept that Larry mentioned of originally just certifying officials to educating them in the clinic setting to mentoring and developing them when they're actually on the ice in the building doing the games themselves. So with the mentorship program, just as a review quickly for last year, is we launched in early October, and we sort of set out to see what the best way was to get out there and engage with every association in the province if possible. Our short-term goal was to try to get out to 90 to 95 associations to test the waters on our staff size, on logistics, on the ability to get out and create quality development opportunities. And of the 90 to 95 associations that we targeted, we managed to get to 82 by the end of the year. So we had hit a high percentage of our short-term goal in our long-term forecast of what we're trying to do in development. So this season, with the mentorship program launching on Thanksgiving weekend, we've already been out in 9 associations over the last 3 weeks and conducted over 110 minor evaluations. And the concept of what we're doing here is several prongs in the approach of what we're trying to accomplish. First of all, it's re-engaging again at the local level, merging the provincial program with the local program, first and foremost. So following up from the clinic opportunity where we go in and we start to educate and lay out the groundwork for the season, and following up and reinforcing it in the practical environment. The next thing is really developing and focusing especially on that group of officials where we need to retain and develop them. So we recognize from the 12 to 15-year age group, there's a lot of attention and focus placed upon them with the local association, the local referee and chiefs in particular. But we want to come in and be able to support the message that you as referee and chiefs are sending out there, and hopefully in the process also create a circle of education where we can learn from the local referee and chief what the needs are at the local level, and that you can learn from us what the tangible messages that we want to see sent out in the game environment. The next thing that we hope to do is actually build ultimately an officiating resume for these officials. Build something that they can take with them, whether they want to pursue officiating long-term and at an elite level, whether they just want to be able to build it into their own professional development wherever life takes them. So what I want to do quickly is show you an example of how this program benefits the individual official in your association. So I'm going to share my screen again with you. And basically what you see is the home page of the eHockey console account. This is where everybody signs up for their clinic at the beginning of the year. And there's a couple things that we're trying to do to enhance this process and make this a much more beneficial platform for the officials, and hopefully for you as referee and chiefs and for our coordinators out within the districts that are trying to help us monitor how everybody's doing in their development. So after you get through the login page, you get into this home page and you'll have the ability to view your personal profile.
And as we do that, I just want to make mention of the Smithers Minor Hockey Association. I don't know if Grange made it on tonight or not, the local referee and chief from Smithers, but what a phenomenal association in the north. What a thrill being there with officials from around the area, not just Smithers, but the surrounding areas as well. And just a phenomenal weekend of mentorship where you have an opportunity to go in and partner with the local referee and chief and spend 72 hours together mentoring and equipping and teaching. And it's more an encouragement mission more than anything, where you get an opportunity to surround yourself with the lifeline of hockey in these communities, and it is the officiating staff. They boldly post signs around the Smithers Arena, for those of you that have been there, talking about officiating and referees that kid is my referee, or that referee is my kid rather, and other comments about officiating, so that they have done absolutely everything they can from an administrative body to ensure that it is all about fair and safe hockey, and that verbal abuse and anger and frustration that are directed at the officiating staff will not be tolerated. And it's just a wonderful experience, and I just wanted to throw that out there to Grange tonight. Thank you once again.
And that's an important point that Larry brings up, in that we've, and I know on the same side of things, is experiencing the opportunity to spread out amongst the province, and to show that the network that's built from referee-in-chief to referee-in-chief, to the group of them, to their officiating coordinators, to the overall branch development program, that there is a network naturally built in place. And we talk about the identity often within our program of the officiating program as everyone being a BC hockey official. And that's what we identify with first. When we certify every year and we get our crest at the beginning of the season, everybody's identifying as a BC hockey official, whether we are from Smithers, whether we're from Victoria, whether we're from Trail, doesn't matter where we're from. We're all identifying as BC hockey officials first. We all sit through that same clinic. We are hopefully engaged within this mentorship program, all coming from the same perspective. And the concept of the officials being sort of the largest team within our province, the minor development program demonstrated this to me, and I know I've discussed this a lot with Larry, but going around the province last year, whether it was a Pee Wee game or even a Junior B hockey game, the level of consistency for standard of play, procedure, professionalism, rule interpretation on a game-to-game basis from official to official and association to association was quite remarkable, considering the vast geographics our province covers. And that's a credit to everybody that is putting in the time to focus on the direction that the program's supposed to be going. So how that ties into what I was getting to here with the e-hockey site is that we're essentially building a resume for these officials through this mentorship program. So when you do log in and you go to your personal homepage, the first thing that we ask is you as referee-in-chiefs, and we asked through the clinic presentation this year, is for each official to go in and simply upload a photo of themselves like we have here in my profile. Because it really helps that officiating coordinator or development coordinator or supervisor that's coming into your association for a mentorship weekend to be able to put a face to a lot of names, because coming into a new association, it can be a little overwhelming getting to engage with so many officials at once. And we want to be able to identify them as soon as possible, because coming in, we can pre-scout and look back at previous supervisions of officials even before we get there. But so having the officials upload a photo on their profile, something that takes a very small amount of time, is really helpful to us in identifying them. And it will help them in the long run, as it makes their profile a lot more professional down the road. What it also has for you as referee-in-chiefs as resources is it has the officials' ability to look back at all their qualifications from the past. It shows when their last criminal record check was done, and it shows when their expiry is, which is what I know happens to be a very common question when somebody's getting registered for a clinic and they realize, oh, I haven't met the requirements. I don't know when it was last done. It's right here on the very first page of their profile, and it shows their certification history, when they took hockey university, and it even goes as far as telling you what clinics they actually attended in the past. So all that information is right there for the official, because we know they tend to only come into this account once a year, but we want them to engage with this a little bit more often throughout the season. And then the most important part of the mentorship program is at the very bottom of their profile, where we actually have the supervisions put in place. So every time that they're viewed in a mentorship scenario through our development program, there's going to be supervision put in on them. The ones on my count are just samples, because I haven't been supervised under this program, but this is where they end up being inputted. So it's very important to let the officials know that they can come right into their profile and see the feedback that they got from those supervisors. The supervisors do spend a lot of time going in and putting the supervisions in place. And from the standpoint of the provincial program, it helps us track the development and progress of officials over the long term. And when an official perhaps moves from one association to another, one district to another, perhaps even in some cases we see them move from one branch to another, this whole profile will follow them, and it really gives them an edge when they move into a new environment to get settled and integrated into that program a lot quicker than just hopefully relying on word of mouth or some type of reference. So it's basically building a resume for them. So that's what we're trying to do and develop within this mentorship program. What we've done with the program is we've targeted minor hockey association tournaments as best as we can, because we see it as the best opportunity for us to send in personnel and see as many games as possible. We understand that it doesn't necessarily expose us to every official within an association, but what we see it as an opportunity to do is really immerse our supervisor in that local environment, like Larry was talking about in his experience in Smithers, for a weekend, for multiple days, when you can work very closely with that local referee in chief and the group of officials in that environment and really see a level of progression and learning in a short period of time. So we may see a particular official 3, maybe 4 times over the course of the weekend, but we can really see what they've been told being put into action. And hopefully working with that local referee in chief, it's reinforcing a lot of the messages that you're sending, and hopefully giving you some insight into what other supervisory methods are being used in other areas of the province to enhance the program that you already have in place. It's everything from written supervisions to what gets put in online to their accounts, and in a lot of cases we're starting to utilize some video feedback as well to allow these officials to see from a different perspective exactly what they're doing on the ice. And we have equipped all of our coordinators this year with the ability to take video, and a lot of our supervisors that complement our staff also are using video integration into their supervisory methods as well. So that's ultimately what we're trying to do with this mentorship program.